This is The Final Word, and we are extremely happy to have on the show a champion of sideways movement, a leg spinner extraordinaire, Amanda-Jade Wellington, a Final Word favourite from way back, and I'm very glad that we're at last getting able to sit down with you to have a proper Final Word conversation. Welcome to the show.
Cheers, thanks for having me. And literally a proper catch up again. Like, we've been trying to have this catch up for ages. I remember my first interview, first proper interview was with you and Colin. So this is great seeing you again.
It was. That was first season of WBBL, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
At the Junction.
At the Junction. Yep, correct. Oh,
So
good old memories.
That must feel like such a long time ago. It does for us. So it must even more for you. You've played every season.
Well, it's coming up to 10 years. So it's so funny when people say I'm a senior player, but yeah, I'm only 27. Like, that's baffling to me.
It seems to happen a lot more in women's cricket, right? Because players tend to start younger. You just lost an airplane.
No, I'm just not used to these beats.
Things are going smoothly already. There's some misalignment between the size of people's ears or something like that.
Sorry. But finally, we're here.
Let us touch back in with where are you? You're in London. Spoiler alert. You're at the 100. Tell me about it. How's it going? What's the scene?
Yeah, it's awesome. Obviously, being based at the Kia Oval, it's a bloody beautiful ground. Honestly, like, I couldn't think of such a better ground to be at. Maybe Lords, but like, this is amazing. Honestly, just coming here for like training sessions and having access to the pitch, it's unbelievable. Like, I've never gone to a ground where I've seen pitches all the way from one side of the ground to the other. Like, this is incredible. But no, I think like the Oval Invisible environment is just unbelievable. It's so calm, so chilled. It's very relaxing. It's very about you get what you want to get done. You need to do what you need to do. And yeah, pretty much personal base, which is amazing. So, and staying at a really nice hotel, which is almost like a K away from the Big Ben, which is, just perfect.
You can look out your window and tell the time at least.
Yeah, pretty much, and just hear, what time it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Flavor Flav style. What time is it? So you must love it, because you've done 400 seasons. You did a KSL season before that, before they changed over. You must love the mid-year England, home away from home thing.
Yeah, I absolutely love it, and I feel like the UK is my second home. Obviously, doing a first summer in the UK has been incredible. Like, staying in Bristol and playing for the Western Storm has been really cool and really eye-opening, and I absolutely love it. Besides the weather, everything's been great, so it's been awesome.
And it agrees with you in the 100. You topped the comp for wickets the first couple of seasons. This year you've got 8 at bugger all at the moment. Took 3 for a match-winning effort on opening night. It's working out nicely.
Yeah, I absolutely love it, and I think the conditions here suit me well. Obviously, being a spinner who tries to spin it as hard as possible, I think the wickets just really help me. And in terms of the weather-wise, I get a bit of drift, I get a bit of dip, and it helps me out. And I think I've said it a few times lately, I just feel like I fit in with the 100. I feel like this is a place where I belong.
Okay, what is it? Is that just vibe? Is it atmosphere? Is it people? Is it like the intent of the competition? What do you think?
I think it's a bit of everything. I think, like, generally I look forward to coming to the 100, and like, I generally enjoy my time away in the UK, and it's one of the time of the year that I look forward to the most, honestly.
And there's historically English cricketers are terrified of leg spin as well.
Yeah, it's quite funny when I see batters walking past me and they have no idea that majority of my wickets are stumpings, and they continuously to do it. And I'm like, surely they've learnt by now, but they just haven't, and it's quite funny.
Keep tossing them up, keep getting the rewards.
Yeah, just keep walking past me, it's all good. And it's always, and there's another one.
The circuit, you've become a circuit player the last few years. You played Super Smash in New Zealand, you played Caribbean Premier League, you played Fair Break. And I get the impression, at least social media wise and so on, that you really seem to be enjoying it. Like you threw yourself into the Barbados experience fully. Like you're still switched on to what's happening in Barbados cricket. Like you're really hurling yourself into the experience wherever you are.
Yeah, I absolutely love franchise cricket, and I think I've come to terms with if I don't get picked for higher honours, I've got franchise cricket to look forward to, and I'm the type of the person who loves to travel the world. If I play cricket along the way, it helps me out, and I just enjoy it so much. It's baffling how far and how many places cricket has taken me, and I just love it. Like the different environments, different people you meet, different places, and yeah, especially with being a part of the Barbados Royals, I've become a part of the Royals family and keeping in contact with people from IPL, Barbados Royals, and then hopefully within the WPL section, maybe within the future, Royals will get a team, fingers crossed. But yeah, I just feel like me doing every part that I can helps me to secure positions for the future.
Is there, when you're the overseas player coming in, do you feel added pressure that you've got to come and be one of the best players in the team because you're in one of those slots?
Being an international player still kind of surprises me because when I think of an overseas player, I think of like a Sophie Devine, a Meg Lanning, and for franchises to put me in that category of the elite, to become an overseas player and to be a highly sought after player is pretty darn cool when I think about it. And yeah, like I was absolute shit bricks when it came to the 100 draft because I was worried that I wouldn't get picked up. So yeah, it's quite reassuring that people want you as a player, and
right.
I guess when it comes to that pressure side, it's more so I'm just grateful to be here, and if I can do my job along the way, then I'm more than happy.
Right, so it's less feeling pressure and more feeling excited that you
get
the
and
opportunity
more feeling
to do
grateful
it.
For this opportunity and just being, I guess, respected in your area.
So you're travelling to New Zealand or Barbados. So what are some of the things you've got to do outside of playing in these different parts of the world?
Well, like in the CBL, like I managed to go on a yacht party at night, and it was crazy. Like day before training, just on a boat at night partying with the girls. Like never would have thought I'd be in the Caribbean doing that. But generally, like in New Zealand, gone zip lining, gone safaris in South Africa, travel the world, and I wouldn't change my life for anything because it's just so special. Like it baffles me how much money we get paid to hit a ball, bowl a ball, catch a ball, sometimes drop them. But yeah, like the things you can do outside of cricket is unbelievable. Like I never would have thought my life would be like this.
And there's a fair bit of time, like, there's playing and there's training and there's media and whatever, but particularly T20, you're getting a bit more time off than some.
Yeah, 100%. You're getting a lot of time off, which is great. And I think a lot of teams have started to realise that it's more personal feel and mental feel and what space you're in. If you need training, like for example, today our training session is a whiteboard session. You put down what you want to get done before a game day, and that's it. Like you don't need to feel pressured to do anything else. So you know your body best and you know what you need to do to prepare. So why not do it?
Is it tricky with switching up teams because something like, you've played for 3 different 100 teams in 4 years. You played for Southern Brave the first couple of years and lost the final to the Oval Invincibles, and now you're playing for the Oval Invincibles. Is it weird to have to suddenly be wearing the other shirt, or is it just like you play for so many teams that it stops mattering that much anymore?
I think it stops mattering because you're just so excited to be here and play for a team. Like that's my majority. My majority of my thoughts is I'm so lucky to be here and play for a team that I don't really mind what team it is. Yes, it would be nice to be consistent to play for one team like I do for the Strikers because you build a fan base, you build a reputation, but it doesn't really apply to the 100 or the CPL or even the WPL where it's a draft system or an auction. So it's hard in that perspective and that area. But I think, going from team to team, I don't mind it because I feel like I'm someone who can slide in and just get along with everyone. I'm weird, I'm bubbly, I'm the weird one on the group. So I feel like I get along with most people.
Yeah. Right, so you're confident you can. You haven't arrived in a dressing room and gone like, "Ooh, the vibes aren't
I'm
good
the big
here."
dog.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned the Strikers. Let's go back to Adelaide. You're born in Adelaide, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, Adelaide.
So what's tell me about your early years. What's childhood like for Amanda Wellington?
Childhood was growing up in the north with mum, dad, my two brothers, playing cricket with my middle brother Zach at club cricket, Smithfield or Craigmore, and just like this kid that was at school, everyone knew like I had cricket background, and so I think like growing up, back at home makes me really love going back at home when I am away for trips, like seeing my father, seeing my mother, my brothers. But growing up, even in high school, I was a little daredevil. I was a little runt, really much.
What were you doing?
I was skipping classes playing cricket. I went to a cricket school, so like I would skip quite a lot and play cricket. I would, just focus a lot around cricket. Didn't really care much about my, my studies. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, geography comes later when you work
correct,
out what team you just signed for.
Exactly. Just worrying about, what time, state cricket training is. Can I leave school early? Can I come up with an excuse to go there earlier? Or can I, say I've got a cricket game on one day so I can skip school?
So when you say you went to a cricket school, do you mean it's just a school that had a big cricket program, or was it tailored to cricketers?
So it was a cricket program. So basically cricket was a subject, and mum used to tell me every A I got $100. So like I knew that was an easy $100 in the pocket,
Just for cricket though, not for anything
else.
else.
Just for cricket, not for anything else. They were like D's, C's.
Yeah, I identify with that quite strongly, apart from the being good at sport bit. So I'm guessing, if I do the timeline, I'm figuring you would have just turned 8 just before the 05 Ashes. Was that? Were you following cricket at that point? Was that part of your interest in leg spin, or how did that develop?
Like I vaguely remember watching, but not much. If anything, it was mainly me just watching on YouTube, Shane Warne. And my dad trying to teach me leg spin. And just I've got some memories, but not a lot of memories. Like it's a bit of a fog. Like honestly, I can hardly remember my debut years for the SX Scorpions. Like I was 15 years old. Like I think time just flew by, and being that young, I probably didn't realize how good I was at a young age until like now. I must have been good if I debuted at 15. Well, unless we didn't have any talent, so.
One or the other.
One or the other. I'm hoping it's talent-wise.
Maybe a bit of both. So you're more someone who, like, you watch Shane Warne clips after he'd finished playing, really, in
correct.
More.
And I still watch him to this day. Like even now, like I love watching Adil Rashid Khan, like just their wrist positions and just trying to figure out little things. Like even the other day when we played the Northern Superchargers, I asked Rashid a couple of things after the game, which that's one thing I do love about the 100 is, the female and male players, they play on the same day. So therefore, if you want to talk to someone, you can do that right after the game. And I think, like I never got the chance to speak to Warnie about leg spin, but like, that year he was with the London Spirit, like kind of regretful I didn't pull him aside or talk to him a bit more. So, but to have him there, witness me bowling, it just felt special.
Yeah, it's interesting, like what a big shadow he casts over any Australian leg spinner. So, like we spoke to Adam Zampa about it a week ago, and he said a similar thing, which is that he didn't do sessions with him, he didn't get coaching from Warnie, but he wished that he had made that move sooner, to try to, like he said he thought that relationship might develop later in his career, and he was waiting for that to happen rather than chasing it.
Then make it happen. That's like sort of like I sort of made an emphasis of like a goal of mine this year is like be willing enough to start a conversation rather than wait for a conversation to start.
Interesting. That's right, like because are you Like you say, you're bubbly, but are you a bit shy as well? Do you have that
a little
tension?
bit, but like if I wanna, if like for example, like I wanted to talk to Adil Rashid, and I was mentioning it to one of our coaches, and he goes, "Oh, I'll introduce you." I was like, "Oh, like, are you sure?" Like, I got a little bit giddy. I was like, "Oh, okay." Like it, it stops that barrier of me like having to make the first move or to start the conversation, and like slowly starting to get used to it, which is good. So, yeah.
It's interesting with those different styles of leg spin as well. Like Adil Rashid was bowling the T20 World Cup. He was bowling real slow, loopy, big turning leg spin, which you don't see a lot in T20 cricket, but you bowl that big turning stuff a lot. A lot of the T20 leg spinners are quick, straight on, skiddy kind of guys. So you're almost two different bowling styles.
Yeah, correct. And it was more so like the things we talked about was about wrist position, the googly, the mental side of it. Like when do you actually bowl it? How do you construct your over? Do you show your tricks straight away? So it was really good to actually understand someone else's mindset rather than me trying to always answer my own questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you come out of this cricket intensive school program. You're playing state cricket as a teenager. You're one of those. So we talk to a lot of players who are a bit older than you, where they slog through all the amateur years, and you come along at just the right time for professionalisation, basically, because you would have been 18 when the first Big Bash year was it?
Yeah, correct. 15, a bit younger, a little bit younger. 17. I think, yeah. So it's somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
10 years ago, 27,
suddenly there's a comp for you to play in that's high level and high profile relatively.
Yeah.
And a couple of years after that, the pay packets are going up and so on. You timed your run to perfection.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when the WBBL first started, and to be so young and be a part of it and still be a part of it is mental. For like I said before, it's my 10th year this year, and the first year I was playing with Sarah Taylor, Shelley Nitsky, Charlotte Edwards, like Shooter, like Megan Schutt, Lauren Epsbury, just all these incredible icons that like have done so much for the game, but was probably only for 1 or 2 years they were able to experience the WBBL, which is quite unfortunate for them because they've done so much work in the past for us to get to where we are now, that we're sort of reaping the rewards now that they set up.
And a lot of, some of them still are. Lauren Ebser is working for the ACA now and still involved in that kind of thing. So you mentioned that Adam doing that interview with you at the Junction Oval is interesting because the hook for that is there's the ball you bowl to Meg Lanning that bowls around their legs when you absolutely shred it. And it's not on TV. There's no television of that game, right? And it's there's this interesting tension in that first WBBL season where some of the games were televised. Me and Adam were doing like a pirate commentary stream sitting on a couch at home. Broadcasting watching some of your games doing that first season. You've got the game where you take that 3 for against Perth in Adelaide, and Adam Gilchrist starts posting about you saying the technique, the shape of the delivery is similar to Shane Warne, which is a massive thing for
I still
the
remember.
guy. Yeah, the guy who kept wicket to Warne probably more than anyone, saying that about your bowling, and throwing that ball to Lanning and so on. I mean that first season must have just been exhilarating.
Yeah, it's honestly like it's the start of a career, and to think that was the first year and all the things that had happened within that year on the pitch and even off the pitch, it was crazy to think. But like to where the game was then to it is now, it's baffling, isn't it? But some days I try and look for all the footage, but somehow I can't find it all. I still remember the words when Gilchrist was talking about me bowling at Adelaide Oval. Like it generally has stuck with me, and I still remember him saying, it was Warney-esque and dangling a carrot like Warney, and it just still gives me so much joy to think of that, and just to think of someone of his calibre thinks of me like that and just pictures Warney as well. Crazy. Honestly, it's just crazy.
Yeah, and that's your first season out, basically. That's
how do I top that?
Yeah, you're jumping into the spotlight. But there's this interesting subplot there, right? So that the day when you bowl Lanning at the Junction, there's 3 journos there. Adam was there, Izzy Westbury was there, and Jesse Hogan was there. Yeah. That was it. There was no vision.
That was it, yeah.
No. And it put a lot of pressure on Cricket Australia to stream the games because you had the reaction to your spells that were on TV, and then you had this spell that wasn't. And the fact that, like, partly that you were box office, you were bowling stuff that people wanted to watch, meant that it put the pressure on them to stream all the games. And so have you ever thought about that? That you personally had a role to play in advancing the women's game more quickly than it would have done in Australia because people wanted to be able to watch you bowl?
To be fair, like, I haven't really thought about it that way, but when you, like, say stuff like that, it resonates so easily, and just, like, even, like, sitting there and just listening to you, like, I was like, oh, yeah, actually, like, it's probably one of the reasons as well. So it's actually a really nice feeling knowing that. But, the work that CA and everyone has done to get us to where we are now, especially with, like, DRS and all that system, it's crucial for the game these days. And, we see a lot of access to a lot of footage these days, which is amazing to see. Like I said, from where we were to where we are now, it's just amazing.
It's one of the things I'm always interested about with talking to leg spinners, especially, is like leg spin is a kind of magic. Is my thesis, because people, I reckon it's the thing in cricket that people get most thrilled by and most excited about. Like, you can watch sixes getting hit, and that's great, but watching leg spinners throw the ball up, drift it, turn it in unexpected ways, that big turn, it's more thrilling, it's more exciting in some way. Like, do you think about the fact that you've got some control, like you're one of the wizards, you've got some control over this, or are you like the rest of us that you also just get enchanted by it and just want to be close to it?
I've fallen in love with leg spin bowling. I just think it's such an art. And I just think it is one of the hardest things to do. And the fact that, like, I'm pretty good at it, but I'm not perfection at it. I haven't perfected it yet. Like, I still feel like I'm slowly developing and learning more skills. Yep. But, like, there's some days where I just bowl a ball and I'm like, how did I do that? Like, that is unbelievable. Like, there was a ball in the nets the other day where I bowled one outside leg and it's gone for a wide. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how am I, like, what? Like, what have I done? You're a wizard, Harry. but it really excites me to bowl. Like, I never know what's going to happen. But like I say, I always try and spin the ball as hard as I can. Some days I do it, some days I don't, because you get natural variation. But on the days that it rips, I'm like, this is like my first love.
It's like riding a motorbike off a jump or something. Like, it must feel so good.
It's just a warm feeling.
So that's, like, you've got this skill and you've got it early in the Big Bash when there isn't really a comparable player going around at that point, and that launches you into the Australian national team. November 2016, you're 19 at that point. You've kind of come from nowhere. You play an ODI against South Africa, Coffs Harbour, the big banana. We always enjoy
big banana
visiting the big. Get your thoughts on it. It's not that big. Big banana.
It's not that big.
They've hyped it up. It's a bit of a disappointment, I think.
You get there and you're like, oh, is this it?
Yeah,
fair enough. That's
big pineapple is big. It's a big
lobster. Yeah. Big horse. Big.
Big
banana.
Big banana's it's bigger than a normal banana, but it's not.
Yeah, it's like a banana in pajamas. Yeah, it's not that big.
Okay, good. I'm glad that we're of an accord on that one. But that's where you debuted. There's a story that maybe you told Adam or somebody passed it on to him, that you said to your best friend, Nathan Lyon took a wicket with his first ball for Australia. I'm going to do that as well. You bowl perfect leg break, mignon de prix, get stumped, as so many will. Yeah. And you've done it. You're pointing up into the crowd where your friend's sitting. Is this story true, or has it been mayonnaised?
Yeah, so literally my friend Kirsty Williams, she played for SA Scorpions a long time back, and we're still good friends to this day. She actually came to the Coffs Harbour game, right. And we were talking about it last night, and she's the one who mentioned it. Nathan Lyon took a wicket with the first ball that he bowled for Australia, and she's like, imagine if you do that, it would be funny. And then, yeah, we were talking about it the night before, and I'm like, nah, like, get stuff, like, it wouldn't happen. And then, yeah, it just happened, and I'm like, oh my God, we literally just talked about this.
It's called manifestation. Oprah could tell you all about it. It's the secret.
Yeah.
And you make your T20 debut the same season against New Zealand at the MCG, 3 for 15, match-winning effort. Was it? This is another TV game. Do you think did playing on TV have any effect on you? Because it always seemed to agree with you, but I'm wondering if that was coincidence or if you just really liked the camera.
Say that. A lot of people say that I live for the TV and I put on big performances when the TV is on me. So yeah, I think like it just adds an element where you can showcase your skills, you can show off a little bit.
Yep.
A lot of people call me a showboat, which I tend to disagree with, but like sort of agree with. But yeah, I just think like it's so exciting when you have had camera on you, watching you, doing your stuff. And yeah, like I said, you can show off a little bit, but yeah, I definitely think I strive for the TV.
So you do notice it, if you go.
I think I do. I do. Yeah, okay. And especially with big crowds as well. You want to put on a good show. You want to be, that show off. Yeah.
Okay. I'm finding it interesting that the things that can stop other players performing, those different kinds of pressure, seem to be things that lift you up. That's an interesting.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
It's the next summer, the 17-18 summer, isn't it, when you make your Test debut, Test cap 173. The significance of that for you, you've got a baggy green, that's lifelong. You played Test cricket for Australia. What did that mean at the time, and does it mean anything different now? Yeah,
it meant the absolute world. Like, obviously, to earn a baggy green or a baggy or any colour is the dream, and it's the pinnacle of cricket. So I cherish it. To even have my parents drive all the way to North Sydney Oval to watch is so special. And I feel so proud. It's one of my proudest achievements, the debut for Australia. I have my parents there, and just I want to make them proud. But like being a part of Pink Ball Test as well was pretty cool.
Massive crowd that game.
Yeah, massive crowd as well. Haven't bowled a lot with the pink ball, so it was quite exciting to see how that went. And I bowled several overs, and then obviously that ball happened to Tammy Bowman, which was mind-boggling, and it just blew up. And I didn't think it would blow up that much, but it did. And I think a couple of years back or last year, it was voted as the most memorable or moment of the Women's Ashes, which is like just baffling for me. Like the fact that ball is something that everyone remembers. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy.
If anyone's listening to this who hasn't seen it, it's the classic leg spinner's delivery. It floats, it drifts over to the leg stump, it turns back sharply, clips the top of off stump, and I think more importantly, like it has that beautiful leg spin magic sort of shape, the aesthetics of leg spin. But more importantly than that, it's on an absolute dog of a pitch. Like that was flat, it was shit, it was dull, it was runs.
Runs for
days. No one could get anyone out on it. And somehow on that pudding, you managed to produce this ball. And it's the only good moment that happened on that last day, basically. Like other than that, it was impossible.
It was a long and tiring day.
So, but how this is part of the leg spin magic thing, though. How does it happen that one ball does that and then nothing else happens all day?
Yeah, it's crazy to think how like we do all this work in terms of seam position and wrist position, and like you play on a dog of a pitch, and one that's absolute green and ripping a mile away. Some will turn this much, or like 5 degrees or 6 degrees, but then the next one will turn 1 degree. So it's quite baffling at how much spin I can get from one ball, but then the next it could be barely any. Like it still doesn't. My brain doesn't really process it, but like when it happens, it's good. When it doesn't, it's shit. It's mainly a full toss that goes into the stands, but it's all good.
Well, yeah, I mean that happens to anybody. Every
it goes
every
straight
kind
down
of bowler.
the fielder's throat.
Yeah, and then they drop it.
Yeah, typical spinner's wicket.
So these there's a fair bit of pressure on you at that point, but I'm getting the impression that from all that attention you're getting, you probably enjoyed that rather than feeling overwhelmed by it.
Yeah, I was absolutely loving it. A lot of people know that I love social media, and just seeing how much attention it was getting, I was absolutely loving it. And I think my parents kept playing it, sending me videos, and they send me a lot of videos all the time, just saying how proud we are of you. And I'm someone like I said, I'm someone who loves social media. Just seeing it all over the place was pretty cool, and just to be recognised once again, like. Sometimes I have to sit back and look at things and be like, oh, that's actually me, like, I don't believe it, like, sort of thing. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, okay. It's like an out-of-body experience.
100%, like a real appreciation for it, but also knowing, that's actually me, and I'm good enough to do that.
Aside from the obvious on-field stuff are there other things that you remember from that time, like less, things that we wouldn't know about, moments from that period where you're flying that you think about still? Like, what are some memories you enjoy from that?
Nah, not necessarily. Like, I remember there was big hype around, there was a T20 game we played at Adelaide Oval, and I was bowling to New Zealand, and the whole Katie Martin situation, and there was a bowl, but like she went to pull shot it and she hit it onto her stumps. And I knew that blew up. That one, and the Susan Bates catch at, I think it was in Melbourne or somewhere. Yeah, because I'm not known for my fielding, so like when that went viral, I was like, oh, this is actually something good about my fielding for once. It's not me diving over the ball, it's me catching a ball.
Yeah, sometimes it's going to work out.
Yeah, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
I think it's safe to say that, like, it gets weird for you pretty quickly. Like, you have this huge start in T20s. You take 4 for, 3 for, 2 for against New Zealand. You have a couple of quiet T20s at the end of that Ashes series. There's the Danny White gets dropped 4 times and makes 100, and Australia lose that last T20. I mean, I watched back some of the vision of that not long ago. And
some village cricket going on.
Two of the Healy has 2 that she puts down that are unbelievable drops. But anyway, let's not dwell on that.
Anyway, next subject. Yep.
Tri-series in India, you play 3 games and you're not bowling much. You're not being given overs. So you're not taking many wickets, but you're bowling 1 or 2 overs a game. It's this weird situation that you're in.
Yeah.
That's March 2018. Same story in the ODIs on that tour. You're not bowling many overs during those one days.
Yeah.
You got good numbers overall. You're less than a run a ball in T20s, like 4.5 per over in ODIs, taking wickets, and then 12 one days, 8 T20s, and you're out of the side. Like, how did you could you make sense of that at the time? How did you try to make sense of it at the time, and how's that different? Has that changed now?
It was hard at the time, because I remember the exact moment when I got dropped. I got dropped before the 2019 World Cup. I was so excited. It was going to be my first T20 World Cup. I'm pretty sure that was in the West Indies.
Yeah.
But then
2018,
I think a week later, after I got dropped, the ICC team of the tournament or the year came out, and I had made it for the T20s. And then I was sitting there. I remember in my room, I'm like, I've just made the T20 ICC team. I've had a really good season with the ball, but I've been dropped. I don't understand it. I couldn't process it. I remember as soon as I got told, I rang up my mum and I was bawling my eyes out. And I was like, why is this happening? I don't understand. And they couldn't understand either, so they couldn't really, settle me down. And like, I was like, come on, just like next day, just go to training, just it's all good. Like, just finish the tour or finish the training camp, whatever we were on. And I don't quite understand it, but like, it is what it is. Like, at the moment, I've gotten to the stage where I'm fine with it. Like, it happens. Like, I always talk about, it's hard work to get there, but it's so much harder to stay there. I haven't come to terms with it, but like, I'm at peace with it. So like, it doesn't really bother me anymore. Like I said before, if I get picked for Australia, I get picked. If I don't, it doesn't bother me, because I've got franchise cricket to look after or to look forward to. So like obviously the aspiration and desire to play international cricket is always there, but if I don't, I've got other things to look forward to.
Did anyone try to explain it to you? Because even looking at it now, it seems perplexing as to how they'd reached that decision. Was there communication? Was it just, this is the decision and that's it, carry on, keep bowling?
There was a little bit of communication, but not really that much. It was, obviously they'd had picked Georgia Wareham at that stage, so I think I was just too upset and too emotional to ask.
Right.
And I was just like, I'm just going to deal with it on my own. But yeah.
It's this curious thing, right? So they picked Wareham. It felt like more based on an idea of what they thought she might do, whereas with you, they had the body of work of what you'd already done.
Yeah.
She has a big World Cup, has a big Ashes in 2019, and then and is there for a couple of years, then does her knee in 2021. And again, we just assumed, well, obviously they'll go back and pick you at this point. And then Alana King comes in. It's the same story for the Ashes in Australia. It felt like almost reflex that they go for the new one, the new leg spinner instead of the existing one. And she plays well too in that series, and has an influence too. So it's not like they haven't picked bad players. They picked players who've delivered. And it's I can't think of any country, unless you're going back to the 1890s or something, who would have 3 leg spinners of genuine quality enough to get picked in the national team. That's sort of the position it's in at the moment. But that few years, how difficult has that been to navigate, ending up on the outer much more often than not?
Yeah, it was very difficult, and it was hard struggling with it because I was in and out of Aussie A tours. I didn't know where I stood with the main squad, and then Wareham gets injured in 2022 for the World Cup, and then I get a call up, but then I only played 2 games in the World Cup. Like, I understand, like, it's hard to play 2-leggers in a side, but I never understood or never knew where I stood with the Australian side. Like, to start with, I never felt I fitted in. Like, just from a personal point of view, like, I never really spoke about it, but like, just from a personal point of view, I just felt like I was just, I never really fit into that group. It's a hard thing to deal with because you're doing so well and you're not getting answers, but they keep putting you in Aussie A teams, so you're like, what else do I need to do? So,
So you felt like on a personality basis you didn't click with that dressing room as it was then?
Yeah, I got along with like a lot of people, but like I just felt like my personality was so different. Like I got really along with like a Grace Harris or Jess Johnson or like a Rachel Haynes. But there was always groups. There was always mini groups. Like I don't know. Like it is what it is. Like I said, I'm comfortable with it. I haven't got bad terms with the Aussies, like the Australian side or anything like that. But it's just interesting. It is. It's an interesting topic.
It's complicated, right? Because you've got this group of people, you've got group dynamics, you've got cliques that form. Like that's just naturally how it will be in most teams. But it seems like a real shame that in the team where the one that you were striving to be in most, that it seems like that ended up being an obstacle. Like, do you think was that an obstacle for you, or do you think that might have been part of the reason that you weren't getting picked for?
I think it was an obstacle because I generally feel like, for example, in the 100, I feel at home. I feel at peace. I'm the happiest I've ever been playing the 100, and I'm performing. So I think like the mental side, the way you fit in, the way you feel around a group is definitely shown on the pitch or on the field. And I generally think like it had some sort of bit to it, but it's not the core reason.
Right, it might have been an influence somewhere, but not the central thing. That 2022 World Cup, that's an interesting one because, like you say, you come back, you play 2 games, you do your job in those games, take wickets, you're economical, and then you're back out of the side again, and that's the most recent time you've played.
Yeah.
It's odd trying to figure out what happened there. Did you feel relieved to be back in the team, or did you feel like I'm going to be out again any minute? Did you think it was going to be a short stay? I mean, obviously, partly it was because Wareham was out injured, and so they,
of course,
they did pick the two leggies. But what did you make of that recall?
I was, to be honest, and to be completely fair, I was like, okay, I'm in the squad, but I'm going to be out as soon as she comes back. I was literally there for the experience and to work on my own game. So, like, for example, being a part of the World Cup, I absolutely loved it. My thought was, I'm in New Zealand. If I got time off, I'm going to go do things with some friends, do as much things as I can. And then Commonwealth Games, I was lucky enough to be a part of that. But then my thought was, I'm probably not going to play a game. I'm going to go collect pins. I'm going to meet some amazing athletes within the Commonwealth Games. This is my best opportunity to make something out of nothing, pretty much.
Right. And you still end up, you still get a World Cup winners medal. And
exactly. I've got a gold medal. I've got a World Cup. I've got some prize money. I'm good. I'm happy.
I mean, there are payoffs.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Yeah, and have a nice time. Go on tour, enjoy yourself. Yeah, you did. I remember you, because I was in Birmingham as well. I remember you running around all over the place collecting all of your memorabilia and like probably having the best time of just about anybody off the field.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, I was absolutely loving it. I was in my element. Like, for me as a collector, the pin collecting was, like, my main goal for the whole tournament. Literally, I managed to collect all the pins, which was amazing. But, yeah, that was my main priority.
Yeah, and being in the squad, I'm like, at least Perry didn't get to play a game in the Com Games either. So,
exactly.
You're in good company.
She didn't get any pins, so.
And then there's the other weird aspect to this is, in the meantime, you have been ripping it up in the WBBL every summer. Like it's become your playground, basically. You look at the last few seasons, like the model of consistency here is what I love. 23 wickets in each of the last 3 seasons. Nobody does that. Averaging 16 and 11 across the last 3 seasons. You got 149 WBBL wickets. You're third all time, just behind JJ and Molly Strano.
Yeah.
So any one of you could take the lead this year. And worked on your batting too. Like your batting came along over the course of your career, where you bashed some useful runs here and there, and occasionally find a 50, that sort of thing. So I don't know. Like, well, I guess tell me about the strikers thing first, because you're jumping around all the place, and then you're going to go back and play year 10 on the bounce for the Adelaide Strikers this season. That must be this really nice feeling of stability in the middle of all of this flux. You've got this one thing that's worked and that's built up from a team that struggled, under-delivered in the first few years, and then started making finals and winning titles.
It's really, I'm really proud of what we've managed to develop at the Strikers. And it's really nice that I've got some security around. I've got my WNCL, SA Scorpions or South Australia, and then I've also got Big Bash to look forward to. That's my main security, and I've got those 2 things to look forward to. And then outside that, I've got everything else. Is my whole, the world is my oyster. But just being a part of the Strikers, I absolutely love it, honestly. Like, Luke Williams as a coach, Andrea McCauley, and then I'm not really sure who we're going to have this year, but just there's such an amazing core group with the Strikers. You got Tully McGrath, you got Darcy Brown, you got Megan Stewart, you got myself, you got some new people around, the likes of Gemma Barnesby, Bridget Patterson, Amanda Penner. Like, it's just, when you think of it, when you think of the Adelaide Strikers, you see match winners in the whole team. It's not just you're relying on 1 or 2 people. It's literally the whole team can win you a game. And from what we've created from the start, it's almost like started from the bottom, now we're here. Like, it's unbelievable to think where we were to where we are now. We've gone back to back twice, and it just feels so fun to play cricket with the Strikers.
So there's a different feeling of, like, fulfillment, I guess, doing that, given that you've been there.
And it's hard. It's so fulfilling. It is, because I've been a part of that group since day one. I haven't missed a game with I think it's Bridget Patterson and Megan Shaw as well. So the fact that we've played every game for the Strikers is pretty special when you think of it. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like when I grow older, whenever that will be, later on. But like, I'm only 27 now. But like to look back at it and to think, I've gone 10 seasons without missing a game. That's pretty incredible when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean that's a blessed run injury-wise as well. Don't want to jinx you.
Yeah.
You haven't had those issues to deal with.
Yeah, correct. No, thankfully, yeah.
So there's always that other aspect of like you're dominating in the home domestic season, and then you're still not getting picked for the national team. You've been in some A squads. Sometimes you're not. You dropped off the national contracts recently. By this point, do you feel like maybe they've made up their mind about you, or are you more positive that things can change quickly like we saw in 2022?
I personally think I've got a line through my name, but that's my personal opinion. But I generally think that I'm better off playing other franchise cricket or other teams rather than playing for Australia. I know like the aspiration to play international cricket is still there, but I'm generally much happier playing franchise cricket, and that's what I want to do. I want to be happy. I want to be travelling the world playing a sport I love, and if that's going to the Caribbean League and playing in that league, then I'm going to do it. I think it's come to a real hard conversations I've had with my manager in terms of, look, if an Aussie A squad or team travels at the same time as a WPL or a 100, I'm probably gonna say no. Like, it's gone to that point, but yeah, like I said,
because
it's always
there's no clear path from there to anything else.
No, there's not, and I'm just more happier. I'm just in a better mindset. I'm in a better mental space, and at the end of the day, you've got to put yourself first. So, yeah, it's doing what you can, and also you've also got to look at yourself as a business. I'm probably coming towards the end of my career, like say 10 years time, but like you got to do what you can do to make as much money as you can for the future to set yourself up, but also once again you've got to put yourself first.
Right. But then given that you're, like you say, you're 27, right? Like it feels like you've been around forever, but spinners tend to get better in their 30s. That's the accepted wisdom. You might have 10 more years. I mean, 10 years is a long period of time.
Exactly. It's a long time.
Would you see that potentially changing later if there's a different setup for the national side, if, whatever it relies on with selectors and coaches and so on who go, hang on, we want you to be involved. We want to have a conversation with you about how that might happen and how that might work for you. Would that be something that you like in an ideal world? Would that happen rather than not going back there ever again?
100%. In an ideal world, like all you got to do is have a conversation with me, and I'll work out, or myself and my manager, and I'll work out what's best for me. Obviously, like I said, my aspiration, and I want to play cricket for my country. I want to play the top level cricket, but if I'm not happy doing it, well, what's the point of me sacrificing my happiness to fit in? But yeah, like I said, I do want to play international cricket, but at the moment I just can't.
Right. And so you have to you live in an existence where it's in your best interest to not worry about doing that and to look at the things that can make you happy instead.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's hard because, like, I've got my parents asking me, why, have you heard anything? What have you done? It's hard when you've got loving and caring parents that they're questioning it. They've got friends asking them why, what's going on, like, what has she done? But yeah, I know at the end of the day, my parents probably want what's best for me, and what's best for me is playing franchise cricket, being happy, travelling the world.
So
it's what I love to do and what I do best, really.
I wonder then, does it become a frustration? I mean, we've talked about it a lot just now, the fact that people keep asking about it. Is there a point where you think, look, I'd rather just not have to think about that or talk about that anymore and just get on with doing what I'm doing, which is rip the shit out of a leg break and have a good time doing it and entertain some people along the way and give people that thrill of like, oh, you know, that response that people have to leg spin bowling, that can happen anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. It's frustrating, but it's also funny. Like I find it so funny how many people message me or how many comments I see on my stuff, and so many people asking, but like, I just do it. I go about my thing, try and make as many people look silly as I can. But yeah, I think like at the end of the day, like it doesn't faze me anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's frustrating as it is. It is what it is, really.
Right. You just have to come to some point of acceptance.
Just have to move on, you know. Yeah.
So what else do you do with your life aside from stumpings? You know, what are the other things you try to think about?
Well, 4 tosses that go for 6. No.
Away from cricket.
I'm a cricket. Yeah, away from cricket. Well, to be fair, my whole life is cricket. Like I travel to India to watch the IPL. I travelled to St. Lucia to watch the World Cup. I stay up all night and get told off the next day from watching cricket because I'm tired of training. Literally, my whole life resolves around cricket because I genuinely love the game so much, and I just love watching highlights, love watching games back. I love, I guess, not analysing, but like just watching what people do and what they think, even what the commentators say. Like I love hearing that stuff. But yeah, other than that, outside of cricket, it's really much about dogs. Yeah.
Well, I have to say that we've loved what you've been doing. We've loved watching your work over 9 years and counting, which sounds absolutely insane to say. And we're looking forward to being able to do it for a long time. I'm glad that you say you're going to play 10 more years as well. You're not going to be one of those, I started early, I'll retire at 31.
Oh, no. Finish early. Yeah, exactly. I've had enough. Nah, I don't think I'll ever get enough. You'll have to... They'll literally have to drop me and tell me to stop playing, I reckon.
There's always another team to play for, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. There'll always be another franchise to play for.
You just who knows what league's going to exist in 10 years' time.
Exactly.
You'll be playing in the Argentinian T20,
I will be. I'll be playing in the Sri Lankan league. I'll play in Pakistan league. I'll play in the Barcelona league or something. I don't know. I'll find some sort of career. I'll play in the European league.
Yes, get in the ECL. You're fielding it.
Oh my, get me in there.
You'd be the best fielder in the comp if you went in there as well.
Imagine.
Yeah.
I'll be ripping it on,
on syntho.
On concrete. Imagine.
Well, and then you can post your own highlights because, I do.
Yeah, I can do, yeah.
I see the number of things that you post up some of the most random cricket shit from around the world. If you follow your socials accounts, it's always
it's quite funny.
Stuff that I'm not expecting you to be watching, you are watching.
Yeah, correct.
No, we love what you bring to the game, and we love the enthusiasm that you bring to it as well, as you have done for this conversation. Amanda Wellington, thanks so much for being part of The Final Word.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for finally catching up.